Great, thanks very much for being here, Max. What's your impression of the digital festival so far?
It's great. I also love the design. It feels very active and engaged, and I'm always grateful to be able to talk to groups of people about, designing technology to value humanity. And so I'm happy to be here doing that.
What advice do you have for digital Switzerland?
Digital Switzerland. I would say my advice would be to truly think about the people behind what you're creating and think about yourself and whether you're using technology or it's using you, and are you building things that people really want or just something they'll do.
What's the best business decision or career decision that you've ever taken?
It was probably to leave my job with Budweiser and work with Gary Vaynerchuck. I just learned a lot from him and with him. And it just led me to really understanding that the world runs on people, and that has been a principle that has guided me throughout my career.
In terms of advice, what piece of advice would you give a child about technology and internet?
I would just kind of try to let them know about some of the ways in which it can be addictive, and the importance of really paying attention to regulating your time and use. It's going to be very hard for kids. I think I'll probably give my kid like a Nokia phone until they're like 16, but obviously by the time that I have kids and are that age, things will be totally different, but if I were to have it now. Just try to help them understand what life is like when you're not constantly connected.
You mentioned attention economy. What can we as individuals do to influence this attention economy?
So on the individual level, there's some tactics on timewellspent.io, will list out some good ways to kind of protect yourself from some of the manipulative tactics. But as business owners and then in our companies, we can see how we're measuring success, and we can see if we're measuring success in human values. An example would be Duolingo helps people learn a semester's worth of language in 34 hours of use. The reasons that people are going into that and the reasons they're designing it are the same. And so are we really aligned with the reasons why our customers are using what they're using, are using our products, and are we developing for that? Facebook, Google, and Apple have a tremendous amount of power to really restructure the digital city that we live in to be about human values. Apple in particular, I think, has an opportunity to create the first real digital revolution since the iPhone, if we're really rethinking why we're doing what we're doing with technology. And I think there's a huge market of people ready to use technology that's truly thinking about them, and it's a great long-term loyalty play as well.
Privacy is a big thing in your work as well. What do you think about projects like Google Glass, for example, with regards to privacy?
I had a Google Glass for a while to see what it was like. I hate the idea of everybody being on camera all the time and how that just changes human behavior. But I was incredibly impressed with the ability to capture a photo that's in such real life, to be able to just tap and catch a moment in such a powerful way. I'm personally not so eager to be putting computers on my eyes.
Yesterday we had Andrew Keane here as a keynote speaker. He, a central part of his work is as well the internet versus humanity, like yourself. So the question is, how can we make the internet more human?
I think it's some of that same answer of it's thinking about what we're measuring. Are we measuring our success in sort of behaviors, in time spent, in clicks, in things like that? Or are we measuring our success in human values, in what we did to this person's morning and what we did to their day and what we did to their emotions? Are we measuring our success in terms of how a person actually lives and feels, or in their digital behaviors? Are we acknowledging the off-screen possibilities?
You mentioned concepts like value and purpose and truth. Do you think peer-to-peer technologies or distributed networks are the future? Is that the right or the wrong direction?
The blockchain. Is it?
For example, blockchain, yeah.
I love a lot of the implications of what that can do. I love the concept of taking out the financial middlemen, and I think one example indicated to me with Ethereum was a movie. Right now, you take 90 days to pay everybody, and and it like takes forever and it's cumbersome, versus being able to buy a ticket and have like 0.000486 Ethereum immediately go to the writers, to immediately distribute that and take away the middlemen there feels great. I love the concept of being able to verify like education, for example, without universities. I think there's a lot of really positive innovation that comes out of these sort of networks. There'll be their fair share of ransomware as well that comes as a consequence of this. But I am excited. I am actually genuinely excited about the potential of this technology, and hope that this can be a tool that we use to make the internet more human.